A Hartford legacy celebrating 150 years. Next. Welcome to the Stan Simpson Show, a program about Connecticut people and compelling issues. Make it a point to drop in every week. In 1860, an after-school program that started in Hartford set the foundation for what has become Boys and Girls Clubs across the country. It has evolved from swim and gym programs to ones that teach young people about leadership, character, and community service. Today, we talk with Sam Gray, president of the Hartford chapter, about the club's historic past and its promising future. In our second segment, we'll continue our conversation with candidates mulling a run for governor. Today, we talk with Juan Figueroa, a healthcare advocate, lawyer, and former state rep. We'll get his plans on eliminating the state's enormous debt and creating jobs. Then we'll wrap things up with some baseball chatter. It's opening day for the world champion Yankees. They take on the Red Sox tonight at Fenway Park. Current baseball writer Dama Mori will tell us all about it. But first, 150 years and counting. Here is Sam Gray. Now, were you there back in 1860?
I wasn't there in 1860. I was not.
Okay, all right. But that's quite a history. Most folks, I don't think, understand the history of Hartford. The boys' clubs starts right in the capital city.
Yeah, so we're very proud to be the founding organization for Boys and Girls Clubs of America. And yes, 1860, it all started here in Hartford, Connecticut. Actually on Pratt Street, downtown Hartford.
Now, you had a big fundraiser a few weeks back. $400,000 you raised in one night, 600 guests. Courtney Vance, the famous actor, was your MC.
Yes.
400 grand, a big night, a big take.
It was just a very big take, especially in this current climate. But we were able to have more than 600 guests, friends of the Boys and Girls Clubs of Hartford, celebrate our 150th anniversary. And yes, we did raise close to over $400,000.
Now, every nonprofit is tuning in and saying, wait a second, 400 grand.
Yeah.
What drove the money? Was there an auction? Was it, what were you charging per play? How did you pull that off?
Well, it was a combination of a number of things. We kept things affordable so that all of our friends, stakeholders, could be a part of our celebration. So, the cost of, the overall cost for an individual to come in was not overwhelming, so to speak.
So with a private donation, was there a big
There
auction?
was a number. We had a number of corporate sponsors. This year, Travelers was our lead sponsor. Ms. Joelle Murchison-Hayes was our leadership for our gala committee this year, and she did a phenomenal job representing Travelers and representing our organization to meet our fundraising goals. So we had a lot of different entities, from different corporations that supported us as an organization to the individuals. It all came together, and we did a number of different things, from the traditional acts to be a part of the celebration, but also a number of silent auction, live auction items were also there as well. So it was a really, really good night. And yes, Courtney B. Vance was our master of ceremonies.
Great actor.
Great actor, great man. And he actually
married to
Angela Bassett.
Angela Bassett, right?
And he was a club kid in Detroit. Right. And he talked about his experience with Boys and Girls Clubs, and he's been a true ambassador for our movement throughout the country.
You've had great ambassadors, right? The Boys and Girls Club, Bill Clinton.
You've
had Denzel Washington.
Alex Rodriguez.
J-Lo.
Right?
The
list goes on and on. But we have a number of alumnus here locally, from Chief Teal, who was an alumnus, and he can
the fire chief, Charles
the fire chief,
retiring fire chief.
So, but we've had a rich history of alumnus come through our local affiliation as well. Our keynote speaker was Dominique Dawes, the Olympic gymnast. She was phenomenal. She was phenomenal not only for the message that she gave, but also with her message with kids.
Which was what?
Well, she just talked about the mentors, those people that were very instrumental in her life, and how the individuals in the audience can have that same effect with the young people that walk through the doors of a local Boys and Girls Club, especially here in Hartford.
Is that the one thing young folks are seeking, Boys and Girls Club? You're dealing with urban youth for the most part. What do you see out there on the front lines? What's the one or two things that most young people from urban centers crave?
Well, I have to say, when you look at just the challenges that they have day to day, educationally, One of the things I can say that we've really done as an organization is really focus on how we can better complement the Hartford Public Schools and what we do as an after-school provider. So we really looked at key strategies, key indicators of how we can complement what kids are actually learning day in and day out, but how that can be mainstreamed as an after-school provider in the Boys and Girls Clubs. So we really looked at tutors, certified teachers actually being in place so that we can actually equip our young people to be productive students during the school day, but ultimately productive students and community members for the future.
You know, one thing I found with young people, I'm in the school system now, as you know, the ability to complete a task.
Right.
They'll start something,
Sure.
have some adversity, quit.
Right.
Start a football team, adversity, quit. Start an after-school program, adversity, quit. How do you begin to build that work ethic where you don't quit after the first brush fire? What do you do? How did the Boys Club help, Boys and Girls Club help with that?
Well, I think the thing that really stands out for us as an organization is that we're able to build those supportive relationships. You know, the kids don't come through our doors because of the gymnasium or the computer labs or drama classes. They come because of the individuals that have the heart, they have the dedication, and they want to make a difference in their lives. So having that personal connection, having a person that really is driving that passion, reinforcing those goals and being able to set goals and stick with those things, not only after school, but during the school day. Ultimately, that's what really helps a young person succeed. It will help them succeed in the community.
Another thing is a good environment. I've also noticed with a lot of these kids, you see kids who are high flyers, great potential,
right.
and all of a sudden they hit a wall and start sliding because of peer pressure. The kids who want to do something all of a sudden feel awkward about success.
Right.
You know, they start doing well and now they feel like they're being ostracized. How do you deal with that?
Well, it's really tough. I think, again, it goes back to those relationships. Being able to sit down and have those heart-to-heart conversations, but be able to build trust with kids. It's not about the masses. It's about that one-on-one relationship that we are able to have with the thousands of kids that walk through our doors. I have to say I have a fantastic staff, a fantastic team of volunteers, staff members, and such that are really committed to wanting to make a change in Hartford's kids.
Achievement gap. Connecticut, every show we mention this, the widest achievement gap in America.
Right.
Where do you start? You know, common sense tells you it's a preparation gap. That
Sure.
you can really focus on that fourth grade, third grade. If you can equalize kids there, you can have great success. Your thoughts being from a nonprofit standpoint, how do we narrow the gap or eliminate the gap?
Well, I know for Boys and Girls Club, that has been, you know, when I look at the priority outcomes for our organization, you talked about it was 3 different areas: academic success, healthy lifestyles, and good character and citizenship. But under academic success, we really wanted to align ourselves with the Hartford Public Schools. And we looked at what can we do as an after-school provider. So we did some case studies. We did some things as far as investing in educational software that was in alignment with the Connecticut Mastery Test, the different strands as far as what kids are learning during school, and how we can transition that into an after-school environment. So just recently, we were fortunate to become a supplemental educational service provider through the State Department of Education, through Connecticut. So now we have certified teachers on staff. So those low-performing young people that walk through our doors, the 2nd, 3rd, kindergarten through 8th grade.
Get extra help.
They get extra help.
30 seconds. I wanted to hit this real quick. In Chicago, new charter school. You read about the story.
Yeah.
Underplayed story. All black boys charter school. Kids came in, couldn't read at the 4th grade level when they came in.
Right.
Senior year, 107 boys, all 107 are going on to college. Quick thoughts on that.
I think it's phenomenal. I think if we can plant those same type of seeds with our young people and give them that same type of passion and commitment from an administration, the sky's the limit for our kids. So it could be something that could be very worthwhile and actually put in place here in Hartford. And I know that there are a number of seeds being planted today in a number of different schools, whether it be, you know, you look at the successes that we have here locally with Classical Magnet and Capital Preparatory Magnet School. There are some good things that are happening in Hartford. That was a 4-year evolution that happened in Chicago. I think if you give that same time frame, you'll see many more success stories like that coming out of Hartford.
Structure and expectations, right?
Exactly.
All right, he's Sam Gray, the Boys and Girls Club, 150 years old, $400,000 they raised. When we come back, we'll talk to a healthcare advocate and former state rep. He's angling to become the state's first Latino governor. Don't go away. You are watching the Stan Simpson Show in full HD.